Ever since I got bit by that spider, I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal. That was when you found out.
What do you get when you cross Pleasantville, Hacksaw Ridge, in a very risque episode of Lip Sync Battle? You get the most incomprehensible, mind-balls-blowing Spider-Man movie to date, starring Tom Holland, Zendaya, Benedict Cumberbatch, Marissa Tomei, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, Thomas Hayden Church, Rhys Ifans, and Jon Favreau. That's what you get. My name is Travis, and this is Planet Recap. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to know before watching Marvel Studios' 27th film and 32nd chapter, whether this is the very first MCU property you've been introduced to, or you're just a casual viewer of the series and need a quick brushing up. I'm here to fill you in on everything that's come before. Let's begin. So I can't truly dissect the preludes of Spider-Man No Way Home without first explaining one important matter, that being the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU. A collection of, so far, 31 cleverly woven, interlinked properties that begin with Iron Man in 2008 and his journey through until Hawkeye in 2021. Okay, so disclaimer, let me just say that no words can emotionally sum up what this film is going to mean to older audiences, as well as how it will entertain to new audiences. But here goes nothing. Also, I'm just kind of assuming everyone knows Spider-Man's origin story. At this point, it's practically part of the pantheon of greatness with Santa and Jesus. Everyone knows the gist. I suppose the most ideal non-Spidey related place to start is with the implications of the Disney Plus series Loki. Now, without giving away too many details, we are introduced to the existence of the Sacred Timeline! So, in a nutshell, the MCU as we know it is one single timeline, one single universe. There are, in fact, an infinite amount of timelines, each with its own universe of crazy events playing out, all flowing along the same metaphorical river. Again, without spoiling the show, something happens that causes these timelines to erupt, split, and crisscross into one another. This is the birth of the Multiverse! So now with talks of the Sacred Timeline and Multiverse comes this crazy idea of variance. Loki really hits the viewers over the head with this new, bizarrely awesome concept. Loki, for example, exists in more than one timeline. In fact, every character exists in more than one timeline. Every single variant of Loki may look different, but you can bet that every Loki variant is in regards to character Loki. So, with this insanity now canonically established, this is how it be going forward. An infinite number of the same character existing throughout an infinite number of timelines. Thanks to this concept of a multiverse, in a time of character rights and studio battles, the idea of recasting a character and rebooting a franchise has now evolved into something far greater and much more meaningful for fans. What was once considered a recast, what was once a replicated character for the sake of film, has now been reimagined through a multiversal lens. The possibility of a character sharing the screen with alternate timeline variants of themselves is here. Alright, as far as the more Peter Parker related characters, teenage whiz kid from Queens turned web-slinging crime fighter is recruited by Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, in the midst of a hero versus hero dispute concerning a government oversight issue. This friendship with Tony Stark came with many benefits, one being a sleek upgraded Spidey suit, another is of course, gaining Stark as a post-Uncle Ben father figure. A father figure who gift wraps an even techier and shinier Spidey suit that Peter Parker would use sometime later when a universal threat in the form of Mad Titan Thanos enters the game. The Avengers' efforts are hella strong, but not hella enough to defeat Thanos during the events of Avengers Infinity War, which ends with half of all life in the universe suddenly dusted and gone forever. This unfortunately includes poor Peter, who, not gonna lie, has maybe the most heartbreaking death scene in the entire MCU.
I don't know what's happening. I don't want to go. I don't want to go, sir. Please. Please, I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Also dusted is Dr. Stephen Strange, formerly a brilliant New York City surgeon, currently a reality warping sorcerer / master of the mystic arts / combatant of interdimensional purple-faced entities. Dr. Strange actually predicted over 14 million possible outcomes before the Avengers engaged with Thanos, one of which was the only outcome where they actually won.
How many did we win? One.
This meant letting Thanos win so half the population could die, which would encourage the remaining Avengers to time travel back to the past, which would undo what Thanos had done, which would bring half the universe back to life, which would by extension fulfill Doctor Strange's one victorious prediction. The Avengers defeat Thanos, Tony Stark makes the ultimate sacrifice, and Peter does his best to move on without his mentor. In the Tom Holland Spidey sequel, Spider-Man Far From Home, after all the world-saving he's taken part in, Peter is understandably ready for some R&R, specifically a European vacation with his high school class. Instead of stressing over day-saving and web-slinging, Peter takes the time to sweeten the deal on his lovably awkward high school crush MJ. This love story takes a backseat, however, after Peter is dragged into a face-off with a few terrorizing, supposedly interdimensional monsters. Spider-Man is quickly aided by the shiny new world-saving superhero Mysterio, aka a very fishbowl helmeted, theatrically armored Jake Gyllenhaal. Peter's cool new big brotherly mentor seems all cool, super awesome at first and all, but Mysterio is, spoiler, a bad person.
Somebody get this stupid costume off me!
Mysterio, aka professional bullshitter Jake Gyllenhaal, is revealed to be a disgruntled ex-Stark Industries employee equipped with holographic illusion tech to create said interdimensional monsters. Mysterio tricks Peter into giving him access to a fleet of weaponized drones. His dastardly plan to attack London only to save everyone is thwarted by Peter, who Spidey sensed his way through the villain's illusions and stopped the drones, which ended up fatally wounding Mysterio. Peter Control-Alt-Deletes the drones, MJ and company are saved, and everyone goes home safely and soundly. In the middle of some classic New York City web-slinging, Peter and MJ are suddenly caught off guard as a certain news source editor-in-chief reveals to the world that Spider-Man is the supposed villain behind Mysterio's death, as well as responsible for the attack on London. Furthermore, minutes before Mysterio's death, he publicly outed Spidey as Peter Parker. Son of a bitch.
Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker. What the f-
And that's the story so far, ladies and gentlemen. 31 properties in, there's obviously a lot to process. I'm more than happy to make these videos for the casual viewers, but to those casual viewers and non-watchers of the MCU, hear me out. Go check them out anyway. It's a fantastic series of films and shows, and I promise that you'll connect and fall in love with at least one, if not all of them. For the condensed yet definitive Spider-Man No Way Home experience, I recommend checking out Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3, Mark Webb's The Amazing Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, as well as John Watts' Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. All this said, please enjoy Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios' Spider-Man No Way Home.